Indian Wells is back around the corner, and you know the drill. It's time to break down the women's draw. I'll go over the potential matchups before predicting who I think will go all the way here on Grand Slam Tennis News Today. Before we look at the draw, it is important to note that we do have a few top players missing from action. First, of course, is world number 1 Ash Barty, who recently announced that she'll be skipping the Sunshine Double to recover from her Aussie Open run. Also, second-ranked Barbora Krejcikova just pulled out today due to an arm injury. American Danielle Collins is still dealing with some illness issues, while Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova has a knee injury. Now, looking at what would have been Krejcikova's section, things are obviously pretty wide open here. Aliza Cornet takes the very top spot and will likely play Sorana Costea, who's been solid all year. The Romanian's the more solid player right now, and I have her moving through there in this section. Moving down, Coco Gauff and Simona Halep are on a collision course to meet in the third round, and I think it'll happen. The only threat I see here is Alexandrova, but Halep should be fairly fine. I think a Coco-Simo matchup would be great because both women seem to be on similar levels. Gauff reached the quarters in Qatar, crushing Badosa in the process, while Halep made the Dubai semis and nearly reached the finals. I also feel like the slower desert conditions suit both of these women's game styles nicely. Halep has been training hard at the Mouratoglou Academy, it seems, so maybe that work with Patrick will get her over the edge here. Now, I will give the edge to the 2015 champ and have her setting up an all-Romanian round of 16, which I also have her taking. Emma Raducanu leads the top of Carolina's Pliskova section, but she could have a tough opener in Lyon semi-finalist Caroline Garcia or Lyon finalist Diana Yastremska. Now, should she win that, she likely played 19th seed Tamara Zhadenzek. I do have Yastremska coming through that one because she's in good form. Plus, Emma's still a question mark after the hip injury from Guadalajara. Looking down, Karolina Pliskova makes her return to action after sitting out the first 2 months due to a right hand injury. She might play Jill Teichmann, who beat her in Cincy last year. I think Pliskova's draw is good overall. Samsonova is decent but very beatable, same with An Lee. However, I am unsure of how she'll hold up, this being her first tournament in such a long time. I feel like this section offers the most opportunity as a whole, so I wouldn't be surprised if an unseeded player came through. Even though I believe Teichmann could cause some problems, I'd pick the safest bet and have Karolina advancing to the quarters. Third seed Iga Swiatek could first play Anaya Kalinina, followed by Clara Tauson in the third round, Angie Kerber in the fourth, Garbiñe and Muguruza in the quarters, Karolina Pliskova in the semis, and Aryna Sabalenka in the finals. I think this is a very favorable draw for the Doha champ. The biggest test early on is Tauson, and the Dane is a bit up and down. Sonia Kenin is also there, but she's nowhere near her slam-winning form right now. Then moving down, her toughest opposition in round 4 is either Kerber, who's winless on the year thus far, or Kasatkina, who she's beaten 3 times this year now, so I picked up Pole to get through there and reach the last 8 regardless of who she faces. In the next section, Alina Svitolina will probably play Anaconda in her opening round, then benches potentially the next. We should note that the Australian Open quarterfinalist Kaya Kanepi is there and will meet American youngster Robin Montgomery, so I suggest you all watch that match to get a good look at her. Alina's last 2 matches at Monterrey weren't that great, but she usually does fairly well at Indian Wells. Plus, with the current crisis going on with her country, she has a bigger purpose more than ever to succeed. I'll pick the 12th seed to advance here and pass benches should they meet, as the Swiss woman hasn't really played her best tennis as of yet in 2022. Now, Garbiñe doesn't usually perform that well at Indian Wells, but she has a decent draw, likely facing Madison Keys, who reached the Aussie Open semis. Now, I say Muguruza's draw is decent because Keys has struggled a bit as of late, losing in the opening rounds of her 2 latest events in Mexico. I do have Mugu coming through because she simply is the best player in this mini section. Now, should she and Svitolina play, I'll go with Alina, as she feels far more comfortable in the desert than the Spaniard. Next up, we have defending champ Paula Badosa, who is set to face compatriot South Arabia's Tormo in round 3. I picked Paula to move through there. Moving down, we have a far more exciting mini section with Monterrey champ Leylah Fernandez potentially facing Amanda Anisimova in round 2. Then looking down, we perhaps have one of the hottest players on tour at the moment, Dubai champ Jelena Ostapenko. Jelena could face the challenge from Shelby Rogers in that second rounder, and the two actually played a tight quarters match last year in Indian Wells, which the Latvian took. I'll pick Ostapenko to win once again and have her meeting Anisimova in round 3. I originally had Leylah moving through that section, but I literally just finished watching the tiebreak 10s exhibition, which Anisimova won, and she looked incredible. I know they only played 10-point tiebreakers, but she looked unbeatable, dominating Osaka, Badosa, and Sakkari en route to that title. I do think the American can go very far in this event if she continues playing like this, but I will have the steadier-ish Ostapenko moving through. Obviously, Paula likes the conditions here at Indian Wells, as evident by her title run back in October. However, she is not my first pick to win this title this year, and I don't even have her coming out of her section. Badosa has been off since midway of the Australian Open, and while she can definitely turn things around here, I feel like the added pressure of her being defending champ will weigh on her a bit. Thus, Jelena or Amanda or even Leylah are my picks to move through here. Now, 4th seed Anett Kontaveit might start her campaign against Eliana Gabriela Ruse and is projected to meet Marketa Vondrousova in round 3, Jessica Pegula in round 4, Maria Sakkari in the quarters, Aryna Sabalenka in the semis, then Swiatek in the final. Now, the next mini section is equally as juicy as we have the blockbuster first round match between Naomi Osaka and Sloane Stephens. First of all, I have to say it's ridiculous that these two have to play so early, but Naomi being ranked 78th couldn't have helped. Now, this obviously isn't an ideal first rounder for either player, especially Osaka, who is playing her first match since the Australian Open. There is bound to be some rust from her, but not from Sloane as much, who's coming off a title in Guadalajara about a week ago. Sloane and Naomi have played twice, both matches being won by the American. Now, this sounds bad, but Sloane always rises to the occasion when playing a fellow black woman, so I expect her to be on it. However, Naomi is a former champ at Indian Wells and is seemingly much more comfortable playing here than Sloane. It's her first time back since 2019, and I'm sure that she'll be happy to play so close to home. I'll give her the slight edge, and I have her coming through this matchup. The winner of that match will play Veronika Kudermetova, who did reach the Dubai finals. However, it's definitely a winnable match for Naomi and even Sloane. Then American Jessica Pegula looms, who can provide challenges herself. She beat Osaka last year in Rome and feel like she can definitely do it again, so I'll pick her to advance past the Japanese woman should they play. Then going down, Anett Kontaveit and Marketa Vondrousova will probably meet in round 3. Marketa did sustain an adductor injury in Dubai, which could still be an issue for her here, so I have the Estonian move through there. I feel like Jessica Pegula has the potential to go deep here and could upset Kontaveit as well. Now, Anett hasn't been messing around on hard courts for the past 9 months, so I think her prowess on the surface will be her saving grace. The next section is Maria Sakkari, and she might play Petra Kvitova in the 3rd round. However, both Monterrey finalists Camila Osorio and Belarusian Alexandra Sasnovich will be tricky openers for Petra, who's always struggled at Indian Wells. I'm calling an upset alert there, but still have Sakkari reaching the 2nd week. Then looking down, Elisa Mertens and Ons Jabeur are projected to play each other, and I give the edge to Jabeur. However, Sakkari is still my pick to move through. Second-seeded Aryna Sabalenka could start against Jasmine Paolini, followed by Victoria Golubic in round 3, Victoria Azarenka in the 4th, Sakkari in the quarters, Kontaveit in the semis, and Swiatek in the final. I think Aryna has a very favorable draw here. Golubic and Putintseva aren't big threats to her, and neither are Azarenka and Raducanu, to be honest. Both of those women have been plagued by injuries and poor form as of late, and while Azarenka is the 2-time champ at Indian Wells and last year's finalist, I'm unsure of whether her body can hold up later on in this tournament. Thus, I'm seeing the 2nd seed through here. For my predictions, I have Halep and Swiatek in the semifinals, with Iga reaching the final, then Kontaveit and Sabalenka with Aryna advancing to the championship. Then in the final, I have Aryna taking it all. I feel like the biggest snub here is fifth-seeded Paula Badosa, who of course is the defending champion. I still feel like Paula is so new at this high level, so I'm not sure if she's quite the pressure player that'll rise to the occasion of defending such a big title. The biggest concern for me though was her actual form, as it hasn't been that great as of late. However, as I said, I can definitely see her raising her level here where she's most comfortable. Then I also feel like Coco Gauff could do some significant damage should she get past Halep. Focusing on the current predictions though, I have Halep in the semis, as I feel like she's overall the most solid player in that section. I believe Swiatek will make it through the top half though, as she's definitely in the best form, coming off that Doha 1000 title, plus I feel like her draw is very favorable. There aren't really any big hitters there like Collins or Ostapenko that can get her, maybe Tolson, but that's a big if. I think this can be a good test of whether Iga's ready to take that next step, and assume the mantle of bringing the next dominant player on tour. Moving down, I feel like Kontaveit is self-explanatory, but some of you might be surprised with Sabalenka, but as I mentioned earlier, her draw looks very favorable to me. The desert conditions should suit her well, and I think she's long overdue for a big title, so why not? Now before I close this video, I do want to thank you all for sticking with me throughout this hiatus. I did not expect to be gone for over a month, but I think I was just really burnt out from tennis as a whole. Plus, I had a lot of other stuff going on. I really haven't been able to enjoy watching tennis at all this season, and I think this break helped me reset and get ready for the rest of the tennis season. I'm excited for the upcoming month of tennis and to cover the Sunshine Double, so make sure y'all stay tuned for much more content on here. Anyways, that's all for this tournament preview, and let me know what you think about the draw and my predictions in the comment section below. Do you think Sabalenka and Swiatek are solid picks? If not, who do you think would be in the finals? Also, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever I post the men's preview. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time here on Grand Slam Tennis News Today.